Now I'm going to pass you over to Arvind, who will lead the following sessions where we dive deeper into actual projects within Southeast Asia, and more importantly, what are the different technology enablers that can be realized within the short term to bring together a smarter society. So Arvind, over to you.
Thank you, Oliver. So good afternoon, everyone. My name is Arvind. I'm a member of the Smart Cities Network, and I lead the AI interest group. Just as Oliver touched upon, it's quite interesting if I look at both the presentations by Dr. Suzuki and Ani. There's one thing which really sprung out to me. It was about the importance of data. Data is going to be powering up all the solutions which are being built for Society 5.0, as well as some of the digital transformation initiatives which Annie showcased for the construction industry. So this chart, which I'm just sharing, data is the fuel of smart cities. This shows how global growth rates for smart city spending is going to go up to 2022. And if you look at the percentages, 62% is officer wearables, which is clearly sensors and devices which are going to generate a lot of data, open data platforms, etc. All of these are going to create great economic impact for our society and cities. So this is a chart by McKinsey Global Institute, which actually forecasts the economic impact of AI across until 2030. And if you look at it, they predict that about 13 trillion by 2030, increasing global GDP by approximately 1.2% each year. So that's a big increase, anywhere between 16 to 26%. So significant impact on AI. Obviously, when it comes to smart cities, there are so many different areas: smart buildings, smart security, smart traffic, smart energy, etc. But at the center is key is smart governance. Governments lay the foundations as well as the regulatory framework to ensure that AI is ethical and impactful and benefits human life for everyone that is concerned. So with that, what we're going to do is for the second half of the session, we have three key areas. First is looking at how governments are tackling. So Casey Kokchinte, who's our chairman for the Smart Cities Network, will be talking about the work which neutral think tanks like Smart City Network are doing in driving adoption of AI responsibly. And he'll be bringing together two senior government leaders who will talk about how they are driving AI implementation in their respective territories, Philippines and Jakarta. So with that, I hand you over to Casey.
Thank you so much, Arvind, for the introduction. Good day to everybody. In order to save time and slides, I have actually put in the agenda for the rest of the afternoon. It is indeed my pleasure as the chairman of the Smart Cities Network to share with you the strategic directions of what we do as a organization and how we work with others, in particular the government, and what our members like G Element and LDR are doing, and after which I will facilitate a panel discussion. I just have one slide in relation to who we are. Our vision is to be globally recognized for stakeholders in all countries. Our mission is to connect the different people for knowledge sharing and to create business opportunities. The photograph on the top left is one of our ESCO meetings in which we met one of our members. Our vision and our mission is clear, and our values is very important. We have a relentless pursuit of excellence for our craft, and our craft is an acronym to our values, underlined with the integrity of us professionally and individually. So with that as a basis of how we move forward, let me share with you what is our strategic direction. First, we think global, but it is absolutely necessary for us to execute local. And what do I mean by that? It means that our opportunities and we work at the global level. We're about 3 years old and our footprint in ASEAN is quite extensive. And I have facilitated a session to facilitate India and ASEAN to work together. We have had in ASEAN Berlin dialogue last week, and we are currently working with a landowner in Washington, D.C. South. So we are thinking global. What are we trying to do? We want to encourage innovation, period, for the development of smart communities and cities. Second, we want to provide thought leadership with strategic partners. So who are our strategic partners? Well, in Singapore, you can't have any bigger business organization than the Singapore Business Federation with their over 20,000 companies. For thought leadership, they work with us, Smart Cities Network, to co-organize the ASEAN Smart Cities Update. And this is the second year that we have had. And in earlier this month, in fact, I have facilitated the ASEAN India Smart Cities Update. But the ASEAN Smart Cities Network is our focus. And the Ministry of Foreign Affairs spoke at that event in January, where this is why we are working with the ASEAN cities. We want to facilitate cooperation among cities. We want to catalyze bankable projects. And thirdly, we want to seek support from the ASEAN partners. I recently spoke last year and representing Smart Cities Network for the strategic partner based in Jakarta. It's backed by Japanese organizations, ERIA, Economic Research Institute, and the participating cities of this research for realizing smart cities are as follows. Within the ASEAN Smart Cities Network, Singapore, Jakarta, Iskandar, Makassar, and Luang Prabang in Laos. Outside of the ASEAN Smart Cities Network, they have identified a few other cities, New York, Chiang Mai, Sydney, Salem, and Takamatsu. Secondly, I was invited by the ASEAN Secretariat and ERIA to speak what does it take to enable smart cities in ASEAN. And I shared just two main points, that there are political challenges and also there is a lack of funding. So I have created since last year a group where we facilitate the ecosystem to work together, to cooperate. And I have this simple approach called ABC, right? ABC approach towards developing the ecosystem. And what is A? The ABC is to facilitate how we can take action, right, to support the sustainable development goal for the development of inclusive and sustainable smart cities. And secondly, more importantly, is how we're going to develop future leaders within ASEAN. So what is A? A is for awareness. So you are participating and listening to this webinar, applying AI in smart cities. You gain an understanding from our fellow speakers, esteemed speakers, and McKinsey and Japan 5.0. And next week we have, or 2 weeks from now, we have this SDG number 11. If there's anything to claim to fame, right, awareness is something that I am very passionate about. If Ani from McKinsey claim to fame is about his work at developing Android, for Google, I was the first internet consultant for Oracle back in 1995, more than 25 years ago. And since then, Oracle have shifted completely to web-based application. So we want to build capabilities. So B is for building capabilities. I was there last year to conduct a workshop together with my partners. I was the Smart City consultant for SG Engineering. And together with my friend Kelvin from Eden Strategy, we facilitated a one-day workshop on smart and safe city for Jakarta Smart City Office. Building capabilities also means we work with partners. Philip from Berlin came last year and I hosted him at the incubator for SDG. This is CDL office at Raffles Place for those who are residing in Singapore. Building capabilities to develop future leaders is my current focus. In fact, in this call, we have invited students from NUS and NTU to join us, and we have, since last year, quite a few programs that we are running. And I want to share on one specific program, which is a capstone project within School of Computing. Because in order to build capabilities, you must have an extended period of working together with the students. And we offered industry projects for industry transformation. And this is what the Smart Nation agenda of the Singapore government is trying to do. And we have a few select focus sectors, tourism, manufacturing, facility management. And what we want to do is to get students to then work with us, to incubate and do projects together with us so that they can then work in the ASEAN cities. Last but not the least is C, a commitment to collaborate. Me and Bernard will be sharing later the work that we have done, but I have been his friend for the last 2 years. In fact, we met almost exactly 2 years ago in Singapore. He was a speaker, and I'm sure he remembered this. His first slide is about the SDG, and I'm sure he will share that again. So his relentless commitment to the SDG is what that inspired me, and we worked together, and we signed an MOU as an expression of our commitment to work together. But not only with us, but also with other people, with the government, which is the Department of Science and Technology. Secretary Fortunato Boy is there, and Sanchos, the regional director. With my Smart Cities Council colleague, Smart Adam Beck, based in Australia, and together with Isabella State University, the president, Dr. Rikma Aquino. And I think this is what we need in order for us to work together, and together with my friend Eden, Kelvin from Eden. And we have signed an MOU demonstrating our commitment to work together. And I'm sure you will hear more from Mayor Bernard in a couple of minutes. But our goal is about developing smart cities in the Philippines. The second city that I would say a commitment to collaborate, my good friend Yudis is here. I met him in December last year. I won't share many of his slides, but I will certainly facilitate the discussion. And what we have is a commitment to collaborate on the UN SDG this year and next year. And our partner is the UN United Nations Economic and Social Commission for Asia and the Pacific. So we have many cities to localize SDG 7. This is my last slide, where I am currently the master consultant for development in Vietnam. So we are encouraging sandboxes and catalyst projects to be developed. So with that, I would like to now invite Mayor Bernard to share his screen and present his update on what his city is doing in terms of AI for smart city.